So I'm not saying you're lazy in general, that you're a lazy person in general, but when it comes to your nutrition, you're slacked, you're too relaxed on that, and you need to develop a stronger discipline.
From Soul Train _
let's go.
If I want to lose 100 pounds, he's 5'10", 300 pounds. Besides the diet, I'm about to start carnivore/fasting. What else can I do to lose body fat optimally?
Yeah, obviously exercise, moving around. I would say there's some boxes you want to try to check every single day. And we want to make sure those things aren't unreasonable. I think walking about 2 times every single day for 10 minutes or having one walk that is 20 or 30 minutes should be fairly easy to do. Get in some sort of resistance training. Try to get in some type of lifting. That doesn't have to be every day, but 4 or 5 days a week would be great. And then just sticking to your plan. You're mentioning intermittent fasting and a carnivore diet. I like those ideas a lot. But I also, for me personally, I haven't personally noticed a significant difference in just really being crazy regimented on something versus just having a little bit of play in there. And the reason why is when I have a little bit of play with the diet, there's a little bit of room for error. Like I might be carnivore, but I'm also eating some fruit. I also have a tasty pastry from Legendary Foods here and there, or some things like that. I'm able to do it for a longer period of time. Now, if that sends you into a binge or sends you into something, where you're starting to overconsume a lot of calories, then maybe that's not your best bet. So you might have to be careful with some of those things. But for the most part, that's the way I would recommend doing it. Obviously, we talk a lot about sleep. Make sure you get your sleep in there. Make sure you're staying hydrated, things of that nature. But this is going to be great for you. You weigh 300. You're working your way down to 200. I'd also have some reasonable goals with how long that process takes. So for you, I would like for you to get it in your mind now. It's not going to happen in 6 months. It's not going to necessarily happen in a year, not necessarily going to happen in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years. It's going to be however long it takes. So you're not concerned about the time frame, really. You're not worried about, I need to lose 25 pounds every month. Just do the best that you can with it. Continue to work on it every single day. And if it takes you 3 years, then it took you 3 years, and that's just fine.
Absolutely. But one thing when it does come to that, and I think that you should let it take the time it takes, but sometimes it gets easy to fall into the idea that, okay, well, this is going to take me a long time. Let me just go and eat this right now. Or let me just go to this restaurant right now. It's going to take years, so it's a process. Try not to do that too often. It is sometimes good to go get some In-N-Out or something, but you don't want to have the excuse of it taking a long time to make decisions you shouldn't make. Along with that, make your life easier by paying attention to the type of foods you keep at home. I don't keep binge-worthy foods at home because I know that if I have certain foods, I will eat a lot of it because I will reach for it easily. So you don't want to keep foods that you typically, go crazy on at arm's length. Then you have to go out, if you don't keep it there, it's going to take some effort to go out to the store, purchase it, eat it. It takes some more effort. So make making good choices easy. That's why we love Eat Right. That's why we love these foods, because sometimes if we're in a pinch and we want something quick, but let's say we don't have the energy to cook, sometimes you might want to make the decision to go out and eat. But if you have something that's readily made right there in your freezer and you can just warm it up, it makes it easy to make a good decision. So just making healthy choices easy for yourself. And we've talked about sleep. We've talked about hydration, how important hydration can be. One good tip, I think, is along with those 10-minute walks, try to maybe take a walk right after you eat. I think you've talked a lot about that, but it's going to be pretty beneficial for you. Let's take a break and talk about one of our sponsors, Piedmontese Beef. Now, the great thing about Piedmontese is they have so many different cuts of steak. We call it the diet steak, where they have low-fat cuts of amazing tender beef and high-fat cuts of amazing tender beef. Seriously, one of their flat irons has 80 grams of protein and 4 grams of fat. You're missing out if you don't get it. Andrew, can you tell the people how to get some Piedmontese, please?
Absolutely. You guys got to head over to Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. At checkout, enter promo code PowerProject for 25% off your order. Check the links down in the description below. Head over there right now.
Yeah, it's a great cue. And I like what Nsima is saying about trying to make certain things easier for yourself. You're trying to make it easier for yourself to not overeat. You're trying to make it easier for yourself to promote a healthy living style, a healthier living style, by having some meat ready in the freezer, maybe having some meat ready to be cooked that's in the fridge. These are all things that you want to try to plan ahead for. The night before, you can say, oh man, most of my steak is frozen. I should set it out on the counter. And then the next morning it's ready to be cooked. In terms of the fasting, I would just be, just a little critical of just making sure that you don't overdo it. And part of the carnivore diet, part of the real gem of the whole thing is that you get to eat some eggs, you get to eat some meat, and you get to just kind of load up on those things. Over a period of time, you will generally start to eat less, and you'll auto-regulate on the overall amount of calories that you consume. But if we're being honest with ourselves, I think most of the time when people are heavy, they have a really slacked or lazy mindset wrapped around the habits that they have. So I'm not saying you're lazy in general, that you're a lazy person in general, but when it comes to your nutrition, you're slacked, you're too relaxed on that, and you need to develop a stronger discipline. Not having the types of foods in your house is great, and then also having the foods that are going to encourage you to stay on plan is another great way of doing it.
So in the context of someone who is striving to lose 100 pounds and everything you just said right now, Mark, I just discovered these things. It's Greek yogurt, like ice cream popsicles or something. So very low calories, but it does taste like ice cream. It's delicious. And this is from Costco. So you get a big box. But it is an alternative to a high caloric thing that's not going to help you. In this context where somebody's trying to lose 100 pounds, would substituting stuff like that be a good idea, or should we just try to avoid anything like that? And I'm saying, okay, don't have Ben and Jerry's, have this Greek yogurt ice cream. Don't have the full fat French toast that I make, or have the one that I make, the low fat French toast. That could lead to eating more stuff, I guess. But yeah, in this context, should somebody be looking to make alternative choices, or just stick with, just like you said, eating the whole foods, eating steak, eggs, protein first, and that sort of thing?
Yeah, stick to those whole foods as much as you possibly can, and hang on tight. Hang on for dear life, because otherwise it's kind of like jerking off but not going all the way.
Edging.
Yeah, and that's going to be really tempting, right?
Actually, brings up another question.
Oh, let's go.
No, but go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
So yeah, I just think you have to kind of like earn your right. Think about everything that you do in life. You have to kind of earn the right to do certain things. Like, I feel like nowadays I've earned the right to go on vacation, and to, like, if I wanted to go to Italy and get, and pay for first class and like do things on a different level. But years ago, I never did that shit. Years ago, my head was down. I was fucking working my face off. And I was like, at some point there'll be opportunities to where I can do things slightly differently. When it comes to your nutrition, like, you're trying to gain, something parallel to financial freedom for your body. When you have enough muscle mass, when your body fat is at appropriate levels, then you can fuck off a little bit here and there. And you can say, I want to enjoy that just because I can, and because it's not going to really cause all that much harm to me, and I just feel like enjoying that for now. And so I think that's ideally where most people would love to work their way towards. But for now, I think it's healthy for you to tell yourself, you know what, you're just not there yet. We're not at that level, and I'm going to work my way towards that, and step by step over a long period of time, I will eventually be there, and I can eventually do things like that. But for right now, I need to pay attention and stay on my food plan, and kind of stick to a specific list of foods the best that you can.